Now, all of us will remember the G20 summit that was held in India 2023. Plenty of world leaders had attended, and it was a moment of pride for all of us. But there was also another very interesting thing that happened that time, and that was the installation of a huge Nataraja statue, 27 feet tall, made out of bronze. People were wondering as to why. Why this Nataraja? Is it our custom? Is it our tradition? What then? If you have to look at this idol meticulously, there'll be a plethora of intriguing facts that will emerge, illuminating the concepts that embodies. They might all seem very antique, but they can be extrapolated to the human and the societal development. Now let us look at this idol in detail. Nataraja means the Lord of Dance. It is the dance form. One leg is raised. Look at the ear. The left ear, if you see, is actually circled. It's made out of a rolled palm leaf. This is what used to be worn by women of those days. On the right side, the stud is like a fish. It's called as Makara Kundala, worn by men of those days. Now, all the hands are bangles, but if you see, there is also a serpentine coil on the right side. The waist, so beautifully slender, a feature of a beauty in woman. Look at the hip band, so well crafted on the left side. It'd be very plain on the right side. Similarly, the fabric, nicely decorated, very plain on the right side. Sometimes there'll be a tiger skin as well. Now, if you look at the left raised leg, there's an anklet there, which is a very uniquely shaped anklet called the silambu in Tamil, used to be worn by women of those days. Conversely, the right has a circular karal as it's called, and also there is one around the calf muscle. There's a serpentine coil there. All this depicts valor in men. Therefore, in the entirety of this idol, the left symbolizes a female and the right a male. Now look at the raised leg. The left leg is raised and the right leg is stationed firmly on the ground. Now it's obvious, unless this right leg is stationed firmly, it wouldn't have been possible for the left to be raised. So the right is supporting the left. Sometimes the alternative features, the posture of the leg is also seen. So that time it is the left which will support the right. So that means one supports the other, and that is what is called as interdependence. Now, Alice Burner, one of the Indologists and a painter, sculptor, she says all these Nataraja artwork in this country, in India, have the Satkona Mandala, meaning there are 6 edges. If you are able to see it clearly, any place you try and connect, there will be 6 points. If you can see this more clearly here, if you rotate it anywhere, it will be those 6 points. It will come within that. And this is supposed to signify, as per the Shilpa Shastram that is said, interdependence and fusion of masculine and feminine features. Therefore, now, we can say that this idol symbolizes both men and women, and there is an interdependence between the two. Now, what is interdependence? Interdependence is nothing but one's weakness being compensated by the other's strength and vice versa. Now, if you want to understand interdependence, let's go back to our childhood. We've heard the story any number of times, the hare and the tortoise. Slight modification. Both of them want to win now. So what the hare does, its strength is speed on the ground. And therefore, when they're running on the ground, the tortoise sits on the hare's back. And when it is a water body that they have to cross, it is the tortoise's turn to carry the hare on its back. Both of them reach the winning post together. Both of them are winners. They live in harmony and they are friends. So this is interdependence. Now, man and women, it has been very well proven, and it's pretty obvious as well, that they have certain unique strengths on their own. The man is supposed to be physically more strong. Mental toughness is very good. and they're supposed to be risk takers in life, whereas women are more empathetic. Interpersonal relationship seems to be much better there. Very fairly calm and composed, do not take risks. They're very cautious in life. But both of them are equally intelligent. Please understand that. Both of them are equally intelligent. Both of them have decision-making skills equally well developed. And therefore, if all these attributes were to put together, whether it be strength in man or the woman, they need to be synthesized for a familial or a societal harmony and growth and development. Let us look at some numbers now. The WHO says that domestic violence against women is a global issue. It's pretty high in this country as well, 31.9%. Similarly, dowry deaths are pretty common here, 7,000, an alarming number. Divorce rates amongst married couple, which was unheard of 2 or 3 decades ago, is on the rise now. This is because there is a decline to understand this concept called interdependence and the support system. Now, let us look at the other concept that this idol has. There is that little creature which is crushed by the right leg. This denotes ignorance. Ignorance is no bliss. Ignorance is fear. Ignorance is inertia. Ignorance is failure. Ignorance is everything, distress, dissatisfaction, everything. Makes your life absolutely grave. And therefore, what you need to do to dispel ignorance is to acquire the knowledge. Not literacy alone, but the knowledge of the environment around you. The knowledge of the changing world around you. Understand what is happening, decide to get used to it, and adapt to it. Now, if you had acquired that knowledge, if it was to be extrapolated to the numbers that we saw, it will make a major impact on those numbers. Now, the left hand carries a flame, a fire. This denotes destruction of the universe when it is not fit for living. But what does the first law of thermodynamics say? Matter can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed into another energy. And therefore, it is said that after a stillness, there is a recreation of the world. Now, how do we translate this to the mankind? It serves to remind us that we are in a transformative phase. Therefore, we need to relinquish all the wrong notions, the wrong beliefs, the wrong failures of the past. Get ready for a new life. That is why it is called as dissolution. We don't call it destruction anymore. Now, look at the right hand. The right hand carries a very peculiarly shaped drum. This can beat on both sides. And when this idol called Nataraja is supposed to be a dance form, the drum is supposed to beat. Now, this depicts creation of the universe. It is likened to the Big Bang theory. Without getting into the too many details of the Big Bang, in the simplest form, Big Bang says that universe was created from a singularity, a small, dense point, which immediately expanded with an immense force, birthing space, matter, time, etc. Now, let us look at this idol again. Before the dance happened, there was stillness. All the potential energy stored when it was quiet. And then immediately there is a dance with the beat of the drum. There is that energy release. There is that vibration which was released, which expanded and with an explosion of time and space. This repeated drum beats as the dance goes on is also supposed to be likened to the quantum field theory. But fundamentally, QFT says that the vibrations, the oscillations, are the particles. They are the source of energy and matter and constituting the universal expansion and ongoing creation. And that is what the repeated drum beat also does. Now, also this repeated drum beat, it is said that it's supposed to tap the creative ability in every man. What does it do? Now, this man is surrounded by the environment. There are lots of inputs from the environment all the time when he is awake and alert, not when he's sleeping. So these inputs come and strike the sense organs of the body, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the skin, and the tongue. So when they strike the sense organs, there are sensors in the eyes, in all these sense organs. These sensors have a little electrical potentials that is formed because of the exchange of ions. And they are carried as electrical activity to the brain. So once this input reaches the brain, otherwise the brain is pretty silent. But once these inputs reach the brain, there is an enormous neuronal network that is formed along with the past experience. This is what is called as a thought. Now, the basic difference between computer and the brain, as far as I know, computer has three separate entities: the input, the process, and the output. Whereas in the brain, it is input and the process is the thought. Now, the thought keeps coming and going, but there is sometimes the repeated same thoughts keeps coming. That disturbs the man. That alerts the man. And when he heeds to it, concentrates on it, then comes the idea or the creative thinking. And when put into action is the creation. The creation doesn't have to be anything phenomenal, like the Wright brothers who looked at the flying birds, inputs from the flying birds, and you got the flying machine out. It could be just a simple one to make life more comfortable here. There is a story which goes, when men were hunter-gatherers, they were living in the forest, in the jungles, no paved pathways. But the leader of that gang, of that group, had the privilege of walking on the spread animal skin, because they were all hunters, spread animal skin. This privilege only the leader had. But there was one little fellow, once as this was happening, a little boy in the crowd suddenly shouted, he said, "Hey, why only you? Why can't you cut a small piece of the skin and stick it to your legs? So much skin will be left, all of us can get that, and all of us can avoid injury to our feet." That's what the little boy said. And that was the creative thinking. That was the idea. What came out as a creation was the slippers. Of course, this is a story. But why only that little boy? Because the little boy didn't have a fear. There was no inhibition. So these two, not there. And if you listen to your thoughts, the creative thinking, everyone will become a creator. Now, ladies and gentlemen, therefore, let me say that this idol conveys to the humankind that there needs to be an interdependence, a support system between the people, whether it be the family, society, or the country, or in the world. You need to take away all your wrong notions, get used to the new world, get the knowledge how to get adapted to this new changes that is happening around you. Contribute, big or small, whatever is possible to make life more comfortable on this earth. So, ladies and gentlemen, if all this happens, then I'm sure we will agree that life here, as it is said, will be heaven on earth. Thank you.